My phone buzzed in my pocket as I sat at a lively bar, sipping on a cocktail, trying to drown out the noise of the crowd. I glanced at the screen and saw a text from my downstairs neighbor, someone I rarely heard from. "Could you please keep it down up there? It's way too late for all the noise." His tone seemed irritated, probably still holding a grudge from that one time I accidentally spilled coffee on his doormat. Since then, I've been cautious about not getting in his hair, but this time, it was puzzling because I wasn't even home. I was at a bar and out of town, enjoying my evening. Confused, I quickly texted back, "I'm not even home right now, not sure what you're hearing." Almost immediately, he replied, "I can hear you and others. It's loud. Please, I need to sleep." It was bizarre because I was certain no one else was in my apartment. Perhaps he was confusing my unit with someone else's. I decided to call him to straighten things out. As I stepped outside the bar to make the call, I dialed my neighbor's number. He answered with a hint of annoyance in his voice. "Hey," I said, trying to sound sober and composed. "Could you just keep it down up there? It's late and I need to sleep. I'm not home right now, seriously. Maybe you're hearing something from the neighbors. Just stop the noise, please." He wasn't convinced, so I suggested using FaceTime to show him my surroundings and prove I wasn't at home. After a bit of reluctance, he agreed. I showed him the bustling bar, hoping it would ease his mind. "See, I'm out with friends right now." I still think I can hear noises from your apartment. Weird." Frustrated, I assured him one last time. "I promise you, there's no one in my apartment. I'm not home, and I'll make sure to be mindful of the noise when I get back. Have a good night." "All right, you too," he replied, sounding slightly skeptical, but willing to let it go. Back inside the bar, I joined my friends again, and we continued enjoying the night. As the hours passed, we all stumbled back to our hotel rooms and crashed. The next morning, I woke up with a slight headache. After a complimentary breakfast at the hotel, I said goodbye to my friends, thanking them for the great time we had. When I reached my apartment, I was in for a shock. The place was a mess. Furniture overturned, items scattered all over, and a strange, sticky substance on the floor. Someone had broken in while I was away. In a state of panic, I remembered my neighbor's texts and decided to call him for help. However, when I dialed his number, it went straight to voicemail. Something was off. As I explored the apartment, I found a single sock lying on the floor. It wasn't mine, and I couldn't help but feel a shiver down my spine. My heart pounded in my chest as I surveyed the chaos in my apartment. It wasn't just the mess that sent chills down my spine. It was the feeling that I was being watched, that someone had been here, lurking in the shadows. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the curtains made me jump, my mind conjuring up images of a sinister intruder still hiding somewhere. I picked up the lone sock and examined it, hoping for some clue as to who had broken into my home. It was a plain white sock, and it didn't belong to me or any of my friends. My blood turned cold as I realized that the intruder had left something behind intentionally, as if to taunt me. I called the police, trying to keep my voice steady as I reported the break-in. They assured me they would send someone over right away, but the wait felt like an eternity. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me, even as I sat alone in my apartment waiting for the police to arrive. Within minutes, a police car arrived at the scene, and officers checked the building, searching every nook and cranny. The tension in the air was palpable as they combed through the hallways and stairwells. I sat in my apartment, paralyzed with fear, waiting for any news. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, an officer knocked on my door. "We didn't find anyone," he said, his tone reassuring, but his eyes filled with concern. "We'll do everything we can to find this person," he promised. "In the meantime, I suggest you stay somewhere else tonight," he said. I nodded, my mind racing with fear and confusion. Who could be stalking me? Why were they doing this? And how would they manage to break into my apartment without leaving a trace? I packed a bag and left the building with the officer's escort, trying to keep my composure. As I stayed in a friend's spare room for the night, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every shadow, every noise outside the window sent me into a panic. Sleep eluded me, and my mind was filled with dark thoughts and haunting questions. The next day, I received a call from the police. They had found something in my apartment, something that sent shivers down my spine. It was a note written in a chilling, cryptic script. "I see you," the note read. "You can't hide from me. The police assured me that they were doing everything they could to catch the stalker, but the fear gnawed at me, and I couldn't escape the feeling that they were still out there, watching, waiting, and getting closer with every passing moment. As the days turned into weeks, the stalking continued. More notes appeared, each one more sinister than the last. The police increased their patrols, but they had no leads and no suspects. It was as if the stalker had vanished into thin air. I couldn't trust anyone, not even my closest friends. The paranoia consumed me, and I started to withdraw from the world, locking myself away in my apartment, always looking over my shoulder and jumping at every sound. Eventually, the whole thing quieted down, and the police closed the case. But every day, the fear grew, and I became a prisoner in my own home. The walls felt like they were closing in on me, suffocating me with their secrets. Then, one night, when I brushed my teeth before bed, I suddenly saw a note on the bathroom door. I bent down to pick it up, and my body froze as I read the note. "You owe me a new doormat." I stood there for a while, completely paralyzed. I mumbled something in the line of, "I got you now," and went to call the police. From behind the shower curtain, I heard two words that made my whole body shut down. Too late.